All right, we are live back on the Andre Duke show with Carter Smith. I got Carter and Richie today, and it is the Natty. What we've been waiting
It
all
it is game
year.
day.
Yeah, it's game day, boys. This is what we've been waiting for. I don't know about you guys. I had to work this morning. I don't know why. It's a holiday. I shouldn't have had to work today,
No, you
but
shouldn't have.
anyways, but I did. And the whole day, I did very little at work. I just was waiting for counting down the hours until I was right here on YouTube, ready to go. We got I'm so excited. I'm so excited. But how was everybody's Monday? Happy Martin Luther King Day to everybody who celebrates, everybody who has a day off. Martin Luther King Day always falls right around my birthday, so it holds a special place in my heart because I used to get, Mondays off right around my birthday every year in school. So, how was everybody's Martin Luther King Day?
Pretty good. Just hung out. Didn't do much because it's so damn cold out.
Yeah.
Just hung out at
Well,
home.
with me, it's always the same old, same old. Didn't have to work today, so
Hey, that's a win. That is a win. I mean, I didn't put together many show notes or anything like that because I figure we're just going to talk Natty, right? I mean, we'll get into some random stuff maybe on Twitter or something like that. But I mean, all in all, the only thing that matters right now is the national championships in an hour. And I had game day on. I'm watching game day, listening to all the pundits talk and everything like that. And I think, ultimately we've said it all, man. We broke this game down for a week. There's only one game to talk about, so we talked about it for the whole week. And then Saturday, shout out to Ike's Pub again. That was a blast. Had an absolute blast. Brendan, thanks for showing out, man. I appreciate you coming. It was a pleasure meeting you and getting to hang out with you for a little bit. Had a great time, man. What did you guys think about the live show? I thought it went awesome.
I thought it went great too. It was a nice little atmosphere for Saturday afternoon. We had some Buckeye fans, we had some Irish fans, some locals.
Yep.
There's some shit talking, which was fun. It is what
Yeah.
it is. Two-story programs going up against each other. Hey man, this is in an hour, less than an hour, man.
Yep.
It's coming. It's happening.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. The environment was cool. As we got a little later in the show, the bar really started filling up, and we had a couple OH chants and some back and forths and things like that. So it was a lot of fun. But I mean, when you think about this game, man, it's just the magnitude of this game. I don't think anybody quite understands right now. Like it is going to change the course of college football, I believe. Whoever wins, either way, you have Ryan Day, who is, feeling all the pressure in the world to bring home the Natty, to make up for losing 4 times to Michigan, to make up for not getting the job done in big games at times, to do all this stuff. You have all that pressure. And then you have Marcus Freeman, who has probably less pressure, but I mean, it's Notre Dame. Okay, like he's not playing. He's not coaching at some podunk school in the middle of West Virginia or something. Like he's at Notre Dame University, one of the biggest programs in the country. There's a lot of pressure on him too, especially after losing some of the games he's lost, like the Marshall game, NIU, that people keep talking about. And you're going to see which coach shows up in the big game. I think ultimately this is going to be a fun game, man. And Duke, what do you think? What are your just thoughts that you're as you've been waiting for this game to come on and waiting for things to happen? What are you thinking? What are you feeling?
well, for me, I'm ready for this game to start. Ultimately, just the amount of jawing back and forth with various Twitter accounts. The bringing up the Northern Illinois game, the losing 4 times to Michigan, everything that's been bad with every other team, that these guys aren't good, these guys are great, or these guys are bad, these guys are good. Well, we're about to find out. That's something that I'm looking forward to.
There's a reason why these two of the last 2 teams standing in the playoff, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree. I mean, I think, and I think it was Pat McAfee who said it. He goes, you can talk about resumes, you can talk about all this, all that, but at the end of the day, I think you got the best two teams in college football. And I know a lot of people disagree. A lot of people feel like Notre Dame's not one of the best two teams in college football. Guess what? Everybody had to go through the same gauntlet. Like at the end of the day, they've played 16 games, and they're one of the ones left standing. It's like a prize fight, right? You go 11 rounds, and whoever's left standing, or I'm not a big boxing guy. 11 rounds might not be the right number. I don't know. I think it's 14. But you go the full length of the fight, and whoever's left standing at the end is the winner, right? It doesn't matter if Buster Douglas wasn't a better boxer than Mike Tyson, but he beat him. So whoever wins in that, and whoever can go the length of the fight, which in college football, the length of the fight got a lot longer this year. And these are the two teams that have navigated it the best. And you can draw comparisons of, well, Notre Dame had an easy path because they had Penn State, Georgia, and Indiana.
Georgia?
Okay.
Penn State? Okay. Like, who
I
else
love that argument.
Who else do you want them to play? Do you want them to play, the Kansas City Chiefs in the college football playoff?
Right.
Like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
keep moving the goalposts,
No, I keep hearing it about how Notre Dame had the weaker side of the bracket because they had Boise State and SMU in their bracket. I'm like, they didn't play either one of those teams. Those teams got knocked out. Didn't play.
It's an irrelevant argument. Point to make.
And for everybody saying, well, I mean, Ohio State had Tennessee, Oregon, Texas. Yeah, that's a gauntlet. Don't get me wrong. But you act like Texas was the best team. I mean, Georgia beat Texas twice, and Notre Dame beat Georgia. So if you wanted to use, I mean, I know Duke loves the transitive property, so I want to bring it up. But I just think at the end of the day, they've both had to go through and be battle tested the entire time, and they've had to overcome adversity and overcome injuries. I think everybody can agree that these both offensive lines have been decimated by injuries. Like, they're talking about Luke Montgomery starting left guard, and he was supposed to be their 9th offensive lineman this year for Ohio State. Now, they forget to tell you that Luke Montgomery played like 50-some games before this. But, I mean, it's just – I don't know what more you want out of this. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Duke, you're awfully quiet over there. What are you thinking? What are we feeling over there? You don't have much to say tonight.
I'm more on the lines of I want to get this game going. That's what I want ultimately to happen, because if this game comes out and if Notre Dame can find some way to win this game, I think over there in Buckeye Land, we got to do a very, very hard self-evaluation about how we conduct ourselves as a fan base, in my opinion.
Well, I do have some just brief social media stuff. It's all related to the national championship. I went on, I go through Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff when I'm looking for posts to send to producer Ed. There's not a lot going on in the sports world. Although, one quick note, I think Ben Johnson is confirmed he's going to be the head coach of the Bears next year. So I guess let's get initial feelings on that before we continue with the national championship, especially after, that Lions game.
I couldn't believe it.
Okay. What are we doing? You're down 10 with 14 minutes left in the game. Your offense has been moving up and down the field, and you call a reverse wide receiver pass and let J-Mo throw a pick? What are we doing? Like, I understand trick plays are part of what Ben Johnson does, what Dan Campbell does, but what are we doing? Like, just run your offense. You've been moving the ball. You don't need a trick play right now. You're down 10 points with 14 minutes left in the game. You turn it over. Now you're down 17 with like 8 minutes to go in the game. Like, okay, cool. Now the game's over.
Yeah, I don't. That was a head scratcher that night. Throwing that reverse wide receiver pass. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. Like you were saying, Carter, stick to your game plan. As the great West Canyon High School football coach, stick to the basics. Stick to the basics. Stick to the basics.
Oop to you. A fucking oop to you. Your group of dummy-os can't even run a simple draw play. You're running a fucking oop to you.
You don't even know what the difference between a sneeze and a wet fart. Oop-de, fucking hoop.
I just when I seen that they made that hire, I'm just thinking to myself, well, a lot of people don't criticize the Bears like they should because they've been around for over 100+ years. But I don't think it's the McCaskies as a whole. I think they have a lot of people that are bad that have worked there for too long advising them, because Caleb Williams is going to get Ben Johnson fired. Let's be real. The Bears have not won a playoff game since 2011. The last coach to do that was Lovie Smith. So,
yep, against the Pack. Yeah, was that the
playoffs? Talk about the playoffs.
So when in the Chicagoland area, whenever people are like, well, let's get excited, they hired Ben Johnson. Well, I remember whenever they hired the guru that was Mark Trestman, the offensive mind that was going to unlock Jay Cutler. We all seen how that turned out. The team quit on him.
But didn't Trestman come from the CFL too?
Yeah.
Wasn't he a head coach for the Toronto Argonauts?
Yeah, he was a CFL guy.
So I'm skeptical whenever this comes, and also you don't have a strong personality like Dan Campbell as the leader of the group. Now Ben Johnson's got to stand out there and see what he can do, but optimism wise, is that about the same as it was with not Trestman, but with Eberflus. Yeah. Until you do something, show me. And then also, can we talk about something else? Because everybody wants to give Tomlin all kinds of shit about, not winning a playoff game. How about John Harbaugh? How about that? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about it. I don't disagree. I mean, they've won a couple playoff games, but they can't get past the divisional round. They usually just win a wild card round and then go. But
because he's had more playoff flops than Tomlin. I mean, to have one Super Bowl and be in the playoffs that many times, and then not only
that's the same thing Tomlin has.
It's worse, in my opinion. You got Lamar Jackson.
It's worse because they have an MVP quarterback, and they're consistently one of the top teams in the AFC that loses every year. Like, at least with Tomlin, you're limping in at 9-8, 10-7, and you're a wild card team that loses in the wild card round. But with the Ravens, they're competing for the number 1 seed damn near every year and still can't get past the divisional round.
And they went out and signed Derrick Henry this year. It's like you guys were Super Bowl favorites to win it all. What happened?
I don't know if you guys saw the Barstool thing with John Gruden, where they took a call from a Ravens fan who was less than pleased with Lamar Jackson, just saying it's the same shit every year. Give him another MVP. Dude buckles in the postseason every single year. And John Gruden, of course, pure coach, right? Immediately is like, I don't know how you could tell. That's a low blow to go after Lamar and all this. Dude, Lamar threw a bad interception, and he just dropped the ball. And that led to 14 points by the Bills.
There was something that I had seen on TikTok. It was an old coach. It might have been Jay Gruden was talking about it. Or John Gruden. It was either one of the Grudens or it was somebody in the coaching profession that talked about. It might have been Edelman and Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, Bill O'Brien.
Talking about when it gets cold outside, why they don't wear. It's a combination. If you have sleeves on, you have no gloves on. If you have gloves on, you don't have sleeves on.
That was Edelman and Bill O'Brien. I believe you're right.
And it makes it way too slick.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the Mark Andrews thing. I mean,
that's just an unlucky play. Like you got to catch that, but at the same time, it's one play.
But also, for as many people that are out there criticizing it, I would like them to go out there with a mudded football and try to hang on to it. Good luck.
And also, let's not act like the ball was just put on him. Like that ball was thrown low. He had to go down and get it while running away from where the ball is. I mean, it's not an easy catch. Definitely should have been caught, but ultimately, yeah. I mean, John Harbaugh. I think you gotta start talking about him in the same conversations as Mike Tomlin. I think the difference is that he has a lot more success in the regular season, so maybe that's why people don't. I don't know, but yeah, you're wasting all of Lamar Jackson's career, just like the Bengals are doing with Joe Burrow. But
Right. Yep.
at least Joe Burrow got to a Super Bowl. I can give him that.
Yeah. If it weren't for Eli Apple blowing it.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
I don't know what the whole that whole division. I can't believe all the coaches are going to retain. They're going to get retained. Honestly, I figured the Browns would move on from Sirianni, or not Sirianni. Stefanski, but I don't necessarily think the Browns' problems are Stefanski. That's just my personal opinion.
Definitely the front office guys.
I do think it's the front office. I think the front office, and here's the other thing. Like, I have a dog. I know a lot of people like dogs, but can we get Herbstreit off the damn field with the fucking dog?
What if the dog lays just a giant turd in the middle of the
I hope he does.
I'm just over the dog thing with Herbie. Like,
I mean, he's
cool.
You sound like a Somali immigrant. I'm just saying. You're over the dogs. You're over the cats.
I'm just like, it's each week. Yeah. What's Herbie's dogs doing? I don't give a shit, honestly. I don't care. I'm here to watch football, not your fucking dog.
And he just gets a new dog. Like, I know he's had the dogs, but like, they had the one dog, that dog died, and he just like, all right, now I like this dog, and brought him. But anyways, he's got his dog, and that's good. Go. Yeah, I'm with you. It's a prop. It's a prop. Here's what happened. Kirk Herbstreit had a PR team probably go out and be like, oh, your like approval rating. Like, if he was a president, your approval rating's real low right now. Why don't you take your dog with you? That'll help. People love dogs. But let's get to some comments here and then back to the main topic.
Also, I have one comment real quick before you roll in this. I hate to be that guy, but why the hell is Brian Hartline's shirt so tight? It looks like he's wearing spandex for men.
Because he works out, bro. He's got to let everybody know.
Yeah, dude. Today was Monday. It was International Chest Day.
Yeah, he got a nice chest pump in.
He took the 135 for a ride on
He's the only person on the Ohio State staff that is wearing a thin black shirt. Why is his shirt?
He's earned the right.
Him and Pantone have the tightest shirts we've ever seen, and Pantone doesn't work out.
Well, he probably works out, but
I don't know. He sits around and reads Buckeye Scoop all day and complains.
I don't know if that's true, but we do have some Buckeye Scoop news to talk.
That's true. That's true.
All right.
He sits around and reads it.
Let's get to some comments here. Cameron, I appreciate you stopping back by. Gut is telling me Ohio State wins, unfortunately, but I'm keeping Notre Dame in my prayers because fuck OSU. I like the energy and I like the use of Jesus and God to try to help Notre Dame. I think that's the right method to go about it. Weather definitely played a fact. Travis, Gut's telling me it's going to be 31-17 Bucks, too tight for 2.5 quarters. Then they start pulling away toward the end of the third. I mean, I don't hate it. I hate it for the result, but that's a rational take. Some of the scores that Buckeye fans have been sending me are a little irrational. 42-0 is a little crazy, but the Browns are a Duke franchise. Let's see. Duke Notre Dame fans can't talk shit about nothing. Yeah. Marcus be keeping it tight. That's for sure. Like, his suits are definitely tailored.
I'm saying, yeah. What is it with all these coaches wearing?
Well, so here's the thing. Like, Marcus, very fit guy, right? And not that Brian Hartline's not, but I think Marcus is a little more cut, probably. And you know what?
Camera.
Exactly. Let the pretty boys be pretty.
Hey man,
And you know,
that.
Marcus Freeman was like a defensive linebacker. Like he wasn't able to be pretty for a lot of his life, and now he gets to be. Let him live. And also,
Hey, you know what?
bitches love it.
YOLO.
Bitches love it. But I do have something that I thought was cool. I saw this on the Twitter sphere or something like that. First of all, this guy's an absolute psycho. All right. It looks like he's trying to be James Laurinaitis' dad. Fucking the animal. The animal. Oh, what a rush. But
well, that's your. I mean, what do you think that guy's basement looks like?
Oh, it's probably just
I don't know.
decked out in scarlet gray.
He spent $8,000 on tickets, $9,000, $1,000 on a hotel plus travel. So he spent over $10,000 to go to this game. So I bet his basement's pretty fucking crazy. But the last line is everything. That's why I put it up here. The SEC watching from home, priceless.
I mean, that's awesome. I love it.
How upset? Like, I mean, Paul Feinbaum and Nick Saban have to be just like on a text chain, like, God, this sucks.
Paul Feinbaum probably cries himself to bed every night. Well, the SEC ain't in the national title.
Unless somebody sends me something directly that they say, I don't watch.
No, neither do I. I never. I mean, I watch Saban because he's on College Game Day and shit. Like, I see his stuff on social media. But, like, if I'm scrolling on TikTok, which is back, or something like that, and I see a Paul Feinbaum clip, I just keep scrolling. I'm not listening to that douchebag.
Yeah,
he needs some Nutrafol.
And also, I think that, you know, some things will be interesting that we have moving forward with some of this stuff, because I wonder if Q's going to come back. That's one of the pondering things that I'm pondering.
Yeah.
And then if
I think he might.
And then if he does come back, I wonder how, you know, some of the fans will feel whenever he gets a little miffed and wants to renegotiate in week 7.
I know you have it on good authority about that, and I don't disagree that maybe that happened, but I think it's different at Ohio State, man. And you can go watch Q when he talks to the media. Go watch him when he was on the panel at the college football playoff, and he was asked about the difference between being at Ohio State versus Ole Miss. Just go watch him answer that question, and it tells you all you need to know. Because and Lane Kiffin has to be punching air right now, because he went out there and basically said Ole Miss is a garbage program and it's different here at Ohio State. And I think he's so bought into what Ohio State is selling that he might ask for a little more money. The thing is, Ohio State will give it to him. And then on top of that, I think they have sold him so hard on what they can do for him at the next level that I don't think he's asking for more money, except for, like, he'll ask for more after this year if he comes back, right? Like a little bump, a little pay raise. But I don't think it'll get to mid-year if he's a Heisman candidate where he's like, I'm going to sit out. Like, okay, fucking sit out then. We're good enough without you.
I think it's funny that, you know, that a lot of people have amnesia about that, and it's just like guys in the NFL. Oh, it's different here. Okay, well, you only been here 6 months.
Look at Tyreek. Look at Tyreek Hill.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's the same thing.
I don't think that's quite the same. Just because the NFL, that all the organizations, like, yeah, they might be run a little different, but at the end of the day, all the organizations are in the same business. In college, different programs are run very differently, and and what they can offer you is very different. Not even just monetarily, but what Ohio State can offer Q from a branding perspective, from an image perspective, from an NFL perspective, is something that Ole Miss could never.
I think the NFL aspect of it is going to be interesting to see where he goes, because I think he's going to be a 3rd or a 4th round pick, because I don't think he's going to interview well. That's just my opinion. And
I don't know, man. I watch his interviews, and I know he's not like a polished media talker or whatever, But I watch his interviews and I'm like, that's the kind of guy I want on my team. Like that, he's got some dog in him. He's a little rough around the edges. Like I think NFL execs, you gotta understand these NFL guys are used to that. That's what they get most of the time. Like they're not getting a whole lot of like. I'm trying to think of who's a great example of it. Like, probably like they're not getting a whole lot of Travion Hendersons, right? That are out there, very polished, very like by the book, know what to say. Jack Sawyer's, those types. They're getting a lot more, especially at skill positions. And I'm not trying to be whatever, but it's just you have a lot more players, and so you get a lot more exposure to players that are a little more rough around the edges, came from different backgrounds, things like that. And if I'm an NFL exec, I love that. I would like that. That locker room's going to love it. I mean, he seems like a good locker room guy to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Jackson.
Go ahead, Duke. Sorry.
I like Jackson Dart, and for the fact that he didn't even acknowledge, or they had a little bit of a party when the guys at Ole Miss knew that guy was leaving. I think that's telling.
Yeah, but also like, let's not act like Ole Miss is some like benchmark program that we should be comparing people to. Like that's a. I mean, I'll call it what it's a mid program, and and this year proved it.
Yeah,
like
but
I like Jackson Dart. He's good. He's a good player, but
we'll see who's in the NFL longer.
I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't mean anything.
I think it means a lot, but that's
who's in the NFL longer. Who's in the NFL longer?
That's the fundamental difference. That's the fundamental difference I have with this. You have a team that has a band of mercenaries, and it's like, this is great. Okay, wait until shit goes sideways.
Well, it already did.
I'm just telling you, wait until it goes sideways and you can't fix it, and then everybody's going to say, we need guardrails on NIL.
I don't know what you're talking about specifically, but
that's specifically what I'm talking about. The guardrails. I don't
everybody already thinks we need guardrails, but
I don't think they're going to get it to the fact that they're going to want it. But
yeah,
but the Q thing, it's always good when you win. Wait until you start losing.
Well, he already did. They lost to Oregon and Michigan.
Yeah, and they had an all-out mutiny with Ryan Day.
Yeah, apparently it worked.
It's what they needed.
They're playing for a natty right now. I mean, you can say whatever you want. And the reason that it doesn't matter who has the longer NFL career is because that doesn't tell me what kind of person you are. Like, running backs have shorter careers in general anyways.
I mean, look at Javid Best.
Yeah.
Dude kept getting concussed. Short-lived NFL career.
But anyways.
But he does realize that you can't sit out the Peach Bowl and renegotiate in the NFL, right? You get paid what you get paid, right?
Yeah, there's contracts.
So we'll see.
And he's allowed to make business. What the fuck do you mean? Le'Veon Bell sat out an entire fucking year.
Yeah. And look where he's at.
Okay, but you obviously can. People do it.
Can. It
might not work. But
it only cost him like $47 million on the back end. That's why he's boxing.
Hey, I didn't say it was a good decision, but people do it all the time. So people hold out. People do all that shit. It's part of the belly of the beast. Let's get to the comments here. Travis went to high school with Marcus, so I just can't get myself to hate Notre Dame as much as I could if we were playing any other team tonight. Yeah, I mean, Marcus Freeman, I agree. I am on board. I'm on the Marcus Freeman bandwagon, as they say. And before anybody digs up old clips of me not being so on the bandwagon, I've already acknowledged that. I've apologized. I was wrong. Let's see here. A couple more things on social media, and then we'll get back to the game here. Let me see. I did see, what do we got here? So did you guys see the uniforms that Notre Dame's wearing tonight?
Yeah.
I mean, these things are sick.
Very, very crisp. You can't get
with the gold pants, the white cleats. Yeah, right.
Oh, they are very crisp, very sleek, very simple.
You definitely can mess it up if you try to go away from the traditional uniform, but They did a good job of not doing that. And it's gonna be this might be the best looking, best visual national championship I can remember. You're gonna have Ohio State in their pretty much classic white jerseys, gray pants, looking like Ohio State. And you're gonna have Notre Dame in really clean blue jerseys, gold pants, gold helmets. Like it's gonna look like what you would bet. Like if I could go find somebody that had never watched a college football game before, had never heard of college football, and I sit them down and I put this game on tonight, I feel like immediately they'd be like, what is this and how can I watch it all the time? Right? It's the perfect example of what college football is supposed to be in my mind. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And then go ahead.
What is this obsession with Bryce Harper?
I don't understand.
I don't get it.
Carter, do you know anything about that? Like all of a sudden he's an Ohio State fan?
Yeah, his wife played soccer at Ohio State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's been an Ohio State fan for a while because of her. He has no real connection to Ohio State outside of his wife went there and played soccer for Ohio State. I believe it was soccer. But yeah, he's a big Ohio State fan because of it. I don't know where he went to college, and there's LeBron. Who would have guessed?
I think he came right out of high school, though.
Yeah, he went to that junior college in Arizona, but that
makes sense. I don't know. I thought you were going to bring up his cooking TikToks because he's been posting cooking TikToks.
I wasn't gonna bring up Biscuit Boy's
off-season
content.
Hey, but those bagels he made look fire.
Okay, the bagels did look good, but I'm just saying that homie's got.
But yeah, no, Jack Sawyer yelling at everybody.
Captain Jack,
how do you guys feel about Jack? I love Jack Sawyer. How do you guys feel about him? Do you think
he epitomizes I think he epitomizes what it truly means to be a Buckeye, born and bred in the state of Ohio. He lives and breathes Ohio State.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Carter.
My only question is I feel like I didn't see that from him until recently. So why did it take so long?
I don't know. The defense thing to me is weird. I haven't had enough. I guess I haven't had enough in-depth talks with a couple of people to see if it's the scheme or if it's the players. But I think it's just the type of scheme that Knowles runs.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about his play on the field. I think he's been a good player for years. I think he's definitely stepped it up recently. I'm talking about watching him get the huddle fired up right there, be loud, be yelling at people, be in people's faces. Why did it take so long for that side of him to come out? That's what I don't understand.
I think when that flag planting happened, and he said, they're not doing that on our fucking field.
Yeah.
Did he just say, fuck it, that's enough?
Yeah, I think he said that's enough. I mean, truthfully, that shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have taken that long. No, I agree with you wholeheartedly, but I think that was the final straw that broke the camel's back with Jack Sawyer stepping up to become a better leader for Ohio State.
Then that loss is the best thing to ever happen to Jack Sawyer because he's about to play himself into the first round.
Oh, right. You know what? I already tweeted at Jason hey, get his ass down to Tampa in April now.
Yeah, because I liked him. I mean, obviously, I knew of him coming out of high school. He went to Pickerington. So I knew of him, and he was a 5-star, number one player in the country, number one D end or whatever, him and JTT. And I always thought that he would be somebody, being an Ohio kid, being from Columbus area, dude. I just felt like he was naturally put in a position to lead the defense, at least, if not the team, and to be kind of that vocal leader. And I just, up until that Michigan game, when he got in the fight after the game, I never really saw it. I know I saw him talk or whatever, but I'm not connected to the program anymore. I don't know the inner workings. I don't know how he is during mat drills and shit like that. So maybe he has been that way the whole time. But when I look at players that are it brings Tim Tebow to mind, and that's an extreme example. But Tim Tebow grew up maybe in 45 minutes away from Gainesville, right in Florida. Was a huge Florida fan. similar upbringing to Jack, right? Where he that's what he wanted to do. He actually was going to go to, I think, Florida State at one point or something, but Urban came in and saved the day. But once Tebow got on campus, like even Tebow's freshman year, like he wasn't the starting quarterback, but he was a leader in the locker room from the day he stepped on campus. And so much so that the upperclassmen at Florida that year, when they ended up beating Ohio State for the national title, early on, like during spring ball and during winter workouts and stuff, got kind of annoyed with how Tebow was acting. And some of the upperclassmen would challenge him. And he beat the fuck out of the starting linebacker in a like tug of war or something. And it was that moment that the whole locker room just kind of went, oh, this kid's different. We need to listen. And so like, I just thought over the years that Jack Sawyer has been there, like I understood why he didn't come in as a freshman and take over the locker room and do that, but I just felt like he had the ability to do it and just never has. But I like to see it. I mean, he's playing out of his mind. He has 4.5 sacks in the last 3 games. I mean, he's killing it.
I think the Jack Sawyer thing is, I think it's good for the Ohio State team. I think people follow him because, you know, he's a dude. I think that has a lot to do with it. And on a side note with the Tebow thing, it's also, he was just so corny. Because I had somebody work at camp with him, and they're like, "This dude is so corny, it's not even funny."
Like, then they didn't know him.
It was just, I mean, it's
if
whatever.
If you knew Tebow, it wasn't corny at all. It was 100% authentic.
It just, you know, some people can take it and others can't. But
well, I get that because you watch clips of him, like even when he did the halftime speech where he comes in and he promises we're going to get the ball and go down the field, score a touchdown. They went out and they went 3 and out. They didn't score, but it's authentic. That's what, and like that's him, and it's just 100%. He's 100% him. At least this is back when he was in college. I have no idea what he's like anymore, but when he was in college, every time I was around him, he's 100% that person 100% of the time. And so like people might be like, man, this guy's weird. This guy's corny, whatever. But then if you get to know him and you see that it's not just words, he lives it every single day. And so like when he tells you like, this is what I'm going to do, he goes out and does it. And then like you see the effort that goes in behind it. And it's that kind of leadership that can change everybody.
Right.
But,
I think the Tebow thing is tough. When you had
a lot of people didn't like him, and I get it, but he is who he is.
Mean, Tebow was kind of on that plane of like Caitlin Clark-ish, you know, as popular. Yeah. You know, a crowd.
He was way more popular. Yeah.
It just, I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that turned some people off. But let's get a couple comments, and then I got one more social media post, and then we'll talk a little more about the game. I like this question, Travis. How confident are you boys that Jagasaw, it's misspelled, it doesn't matter. I couldn't spell it without looking it up, but we'll play well tonight. I feel like this is a tough matchup to get thrown into for the first time all year. I think, and I'll give my opinion, then you guys can jump in, but my personal opinion is I think he's going to play better than any tackle that Notre Dame's had all year at left tackle. He was slated to be the starter this year. He's been in the program for 2 years now. He knows the playbook. He knows the protections. He's been in it. He's a legitimate first-round left tackle. And he got hurt in camp, didn't get to play much. He's played the last 2 games at guard. And that was, I think, partially, in the first game, Knapp was healthy, but also that I didn't know. I don't think they knew if he was healthy enough to actually slide out the tackle. But the fact that they're moving him to tackle tells me they obviously tested it. He's good to go. He's a better left tackle than Anthony Knapp was, at least from all accounts. So I have more confidence in him without seeing much tape than I would have with Anthony Knapp going up against Jack Sawyer and JTT. Anthony Knapp did a phenomenal job. I'm not shitting on him, but he was very suspect at times. So I would rather take who I think is the better overall player with less experience at this point because he hasn't played because of injury. But he's been around for 2 years. He's got experience in practice. He's got experience in games. He just hasn't started much. So I like it. I think that's actually a benefit. I think that helps this offensive line. And I could be wrong. He could go out there and absolutely get eaten alive by Jack Sawyer and JTT. And those are two legitimate NFL talents. So it's not like he's going to have a day in the park. He's going to have to put his big boy pants on and go actually face some dudes. But yeah, plus nobody has fresher legs than him. 100%.
Yeah.
One of them is surgically repaired, I believe. But other than that, butterflies in my stomach just started. Yeah, I know, dude. I don't think I'm nervous. Like, I can't tell what it is. Like, I'm nervous, but I'm not nervous because I think I've talked myself into Notre Dame can win the game, but I'm expecting Ohio State to do it. Like, I just think Ohio State on paper should, but I know Notre Dame can. So I'm going to watch the game and expect Notre Dame to go out and put up a good performance and put up a fight. And hopefully they do everything that I've said they need to do to win the game and then win. But I'm not nervous. I'm ready for it, man. I don't know why. It's got to be because it's Notre Dame, Ohio State. I don't know why the anticipation for this game has felt like it's been months.
Yes. It's been probably the longest week of my life for all football season for me, at least.
Yeah.
I think the nerves starting getting to me Saturday night when I was on my way home. Yesterday, watching the games. Today, been pacing around. I was cleaning, doing laundry, just to try to get my mind off, for the game because, like I said Saturday, this game to me has that feel like Miami, Ohio State back 22 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think Notre Dame, everybody's counting Notre Dame out. They're going to give Ohio State their one and only best shot they can tonight. And I wouldn't be surprised if they squeak it out. But to me, Ohio State, they are very talented, as we all know. That loss against Michigan woke their asses up. They refocused, had that players only meeting. They hashed some things out. I just want it to be a great game. I don't want it to be a blowout, truthfully, because it'll be boring. I want it to be one of the all-time classics. When the triple zeros hit in the fourth quarter, and whoever holds that title, hey, hats off to them.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. I think whoever holds that trophy at the end of the night, I don't care what anybody says, they've earned it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who it is. Like, and I think, and that's, I guess, one question I'll ask, because a lot of people, Ohio State fans included, maybe more so than anybody, have been telling me that Notre Dame doesn't deserve to be in this game. Saying that they had an easy schedule, they had the worst loss in college football, and they had the easy path in the bracket. So why are they don't deserve? Well, there's a lot of talking that's been going on, and if Notre Dame comes out, and if this, all I want, like you said, I don't want it to be a blowout. If it's a blowout, I'll be disappointed. But if it's a close game, I don't care what anybody. I mean, I do care. I want Notre Dame to win. But if Ohio State wins in a close game, the only thing I would ask of Ohio State fans is at least show a little bit of respect for Notre Dame and be like, all right, you guys earned it. You guys should have been in that game. Like, that was a good game. We won. Celebrate your natty. Do all that. But don't go on a fucking tirade about how terrible Notre Dame is. They shouldn't have even been in the game, all that shit, because ultimately it makes you look bad.
Oh, it makes the Ohio State fan base terrible. Marcus Freeman, as we know, is a former Buckeye. I have nothing but the utmost respect for Marcus and what he's accomplished at Notre Dame. That fake accent prick, went down to LSU. He's probably punching air like we've said.
Yeah.
And I'm glad for Marcus. He's from Ohio. His wife's from Massillon. Just all the interconnections with Ohio State. I couldn't be happy for him. They're going to be great next year. I don't care. They're going to. The freshmen and sophomores that are coming back, they're going to have more experience playing in a national title game. Who can say, yeah, I played in a national title game my freshman year. What did you guys do? Oh, you guys were at home washing your tights. So,
right.
I just like I said, I just hope it's a great game for a clean game. Nothing gets out of hand. I want it to be an all-time classic.
Yep. And
Well, I mean, what are we talking here? When it comes down to it, if you ask the Ohio State folks, we shouldn't even play the game. We should just save everybody's time.
a lot of them feel that way. But you know what? That's why they play the game.
Exactly.
But you did bring up one thing, which is Richie, which is, I thought this was interesting, and this is from it's Ohio State University versus the world. No one in the world thinks Ohio State will win this game. It's time for the Buckeyes to prove everyone wrong. We like being the underdogs.
How are they the underdogs?
Me
How are they the
excuse
underdogs when they're 8? Me scoozy.
Like, first of all, you're a 9-point favorite.
Yeah, 9-point favorite. Like,
almost
you're a 9-point favorite. You aren't the underdog, first of all. So you can love being the underdogs. Unfortunately, that doesn't apply to tonight, so I don't know why you're bringing it up. Number two, the line that says, nobody in the world thinks Ohio State will win this game. Are you fucking insane? Everybody I've talked to, everybody on ESPN has said, I think Ohio State's going to win this game. I don't know anybody.
Do you think Saban will pick?
I think he already did.
I think he's going to pick Notre Dame.
I think he'll pick Notre Dame.
I don't think so. I think he picks Ohio State because, and I don't blame him. When you look at it on paper, Ohio State should win the game. And so his job as an analyst is to analyze the teams on paper and decide who he thinks will win the game. You can bring in X factors, you can bring in motivation, all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, I don't disagree with anybody that says Ohio State's going to win the game. I understand it. I see it too. But I think Notre Dame has a chance.
What about the Ohio pork roll?
Don't Google that on your work computer, folks. Travis has some takes here. I think if every special teams play is boring, OSU wins this matchup 70% of the time, but ND has the best special teams in the country. Could be a huge, that's something Duke has brought up a lot.
Yep, Duke's brought up numerous times.
Make every special teams play boring. That's the key to the game for Ohio State. Absolutely. Ryan Day's got to be sitting there like, guys, whenever it's a punt or a kick or anything like that, if we don't have to pay attention to it and it just happens and goes away and I don't hear anything, we win. Because the second that he hears a punt get blocked or a kick return for a touchdown or something like that, it's going to get tight. There's a lot of vocal idiots in our fan base. Don't hold that. I don't. I know a lot of Ohio State fans that are actually pretty rational. I do want to put that out there. I know a lot of them. Now, I know a lot of them that are not, but I'd say it's about 50-50, the crazies and the rational, logical
What do you mean?
ones.
Some of the crazies were saying they were going to show up at Ryan Day's house.
Some of the fucking crazies did show up at Ryan Day's house, I'm sure. That's part of the gig, and I don't support people stalking coaches.
That's a little excessive, a little weird. If you have time to go and do that, Jesus Christ, go get another hobby.
Let's not act like that's something new.
No, okay? It's not. But.
My grandfather back in the early 80s lost to Iowa and had for sale signs at his yard the next morning.
So here's the other thing. So if let's say Ohio State loses this game, does this mean that they have to hire, the one that shall not be mentioned back because they haven't won it since he's been there?
What, are you talking about her?
No, your brother. They have to hire him back.
No. They could try. I don't think that'll go over well with him or anybody.
Well, I mean,
I think part of his deal, he gets executive decisions on certain staff positions, and one of the first ones out is Jerry Emming.
Yeah, I think old Jerry is.
But
I think Jerry's on the way out. I wouldn't be shocked if they would not can Jerry.
He does what they want him to do, which is nothing.
Desmond picked Notre Dame.
Of course he did. I don't love that. I got to be honest with you. I would have rather him not do that. But I think as we approach kickoff, I know we got some time. It says 7:30 on kickoff, but it's not. It's going to be like 7:45 probably.
Yeah.
But as we approach it, I know we broke it down Saturday, and if you haven't, I mean, you're running out of time here, but go listen to the last 20 minutes.
Saban took Ohio State.
I told you he would.
I thought he would pick Notre Dame.
I hope
he's not stupid.
I hope McAfee picks Ohio State. I got some people on TikTok saying Ohio State minus 14.
Oh, buddy, I could read you my messages. I have people saying Ohio State minus 23.5.
Yeah.
So trust me, they're out there, but I think there are like Travis seems like a more rational, normal Ohio State fan, right? And he can kind of see like, first of all, I could see a world where Notre Dame gets blown out by Ohio State. I think that's possible. Notre Dame has to play really bad and has to not do anything that said they need to do. But it's definitely possible.
Right.
Do I think it's likely? No. Notre Dame has shown me this year against anybody you put in front of them that they will. They just don't get blown out. Like, and Marcus Freeman never really has gotten blown out. Like, even against Ohio State, the 2 years in the regular season, he never got blown out by them. And they had really good teams back then. Marvin Harrison Jr. was a top 5 pick.
Yeah, I just think that, even if you wanted to tease this game, I think you would be okay. Like if you did a 6-point teaser with Notre Dame, Pat has picked McAfee has picked Ohio State. Corso has a green Notre Dame chain on, so I think we know who he's picking.
He's gonna put the Brutus head on. Just watch. It's all for show.
No.
Did McAfee at least like start singing?
No, he did
the victory march or something.
He did a long thing.
Because that's what I forgot to do it. But Saturday I was gonna have, because I knew there'd be so many Ohio State fans at the bar. I was gonna have them start singing "We Don't Give a Damn" for the whole state of Michigan. And then I was gonna go full McAfee and go, "Give me Notre Dame," but forgot to do it.
I think they might have thrown rocks at you.
That's fine. They can throw bottles, rocks. I don't care.
I don't know. I think that the way that this is shaping up, I find it very, very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at it, okay, and before I talk about the game anymore, can we all just agree on something and like put it out there that like Lee Corso was great. He was fun. He helped build College Game Day into what it was. But for the love of God, get him off camera.
Seriously.
He can't make it through a sentence.
I think this.
No disrespect to him. Oh, he picked Notre Dame, of course.
I think
it's got to be his last year.
This will be his last year on college.
I hope so. I thought that last year though.
Yeah, so did I. I thought like what they were doing to him last year is like, Jesus, you're trotting him out.
Travis brings up a good point.
I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
There aren't any major injuries, the refs. I don't want it to make. Yeah, I'm with you. And these are two of the most least penalized teams in the country, whether that be because refs don't like to throw flags or because they can't draw a flag. But neither one of these teams draws a lot of opponent flags or gets penalized themselves that much. I know Ohio State ranks dead last in opponent penalties, and Notre Dame is barely, I think they're 102nd. So they're both in the bottom tier of opponent penalties. So hopefully we won't get a lot of flags tonight.
Right.
But if you want a Notre Dame win, which I know Travis doesn't, but if you want a Notre Dame win, you want to hope for at least 2 Igbinosun penalties.
Well, I think one of the other things that I would want to watch is is how Jim Knowles deploys Caleb Downs in the run game, because I don't think you use him as the spy for Riley Leonard. I just don't.
No, they won't. They'll use. I believe. I mean, we'll see, but I believe they're going to use Cody Simon and Sonny Styles as a spy.
I would rather use Sonny Styles than Cody Simon, just for the simple fact of,
Well,
I
disagree on that. I'd rather have Cody Simon as a spy and let Sonny Styles go out in coverage, because he is a converted DB to linebacker, and he can flip his hips.
I think Riley Leonard in the run game is going to give Ohio State a ton of problems.
Here's why I think they'll go with Cody Simon more is I think Riley Leonard is a very difficult person to tackle in space, and I think Sonny Styles has struggled doing that this year. He hasn't converted to linebacker flawlessly or seamlessly. He's made some. He takes bad angles sometimes. So I think Cody Simon's a more sure tackler. So I think either one. I think they probably use both at different times. But I think Cody Simon has proven to be the spy so far this postseason when they've spied quarterbacks like Dylan Gabriel. Cody Simon was pretty much the spy for that. I think Travis has it. Sonny will shadow the running back out of the backfield. Cody will spy Riley. I think that's pretty accurate of what they'll do, especially after what Texas was able to do, getting the running back on defensive linemen and stuff like that. I think they'll make an adjustment, because if Aeneas Williams gets lined up with Tyleik Williams, it's going to be a bad day for Ohio State on that play.
It's going to be real bad.
While we're thinking about it, they just showed the Texas play.
Mm-hmm.
I went back and looked at a lot of Texas in the red zone. They were bad in the red zone.
Bad.
So whenever that play happened, now that I think about it, I'm really not that shocked.
No,
that happened.
I mean they had 1st and goal from the 1 and made a terrible play call that put them at the 6-yard line. It was I don't like that play call at all. Even if you block it well, I don't think you score. But that set them back there. But let's not ignore the fact that Ohio State has one of the best red zone defenses in the country. They had massive goal line stands against Penn State and multiple times this year that won them games. So it's a little bit of the defense, but Texas also struggled to put it in the end zone a lot.
Yeah, I think Texas had a rough go of it. This is a very, very interesting endeavor, I think.
Yep, I'm with you.
And, they were talking about – I did see some people talking about Notre Dame's schedule today, and they said, yeah, I mean, how could we forget about the legendary schedule of Ohio State with Akron, Western Michigan, and Marshall? Legendary, absolute cinema, let me tell you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think the more and more college football evolves, they're going to get away from that.
And that's how it should be. You got to play these tougher opponents to see how well you are.
I mean, okay. I'm all right with if you want to throw Akron on there week 1, okay,
yeah,
cool.
Because you're not playing any preseason games.
But one of the other things too you can't find is that you don't get a lot of teams that want to come to South Bend.
I mean, for the paycheck, they will.
But I mean, I'm not talking.
Oh, you're talking big games.
I'm talking big games.
Yeah.
I bet it was pulling teeth getting Miami back on the schedule.
Probably, and they only did that because of the ACC, and they had to.
And Pitt doesn't want to be on there. I know Narduzzi doesn't like it because he doesn't want to play Notre Dame.
Yep. But Travis brings up a good point, too. In the red zone, Notre Dame will run QB power 100%. And I don't know why. Texas, I didn't really see Texas use the Arch Manning package.
I don't know what Sark was doing. It just the whole thing was bizarre. The last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It was
crazy.
It was bizarro world. Miami finishes 7th in the Big Ten. I don't know about that because Miami could put up some points with Cam Ward.
I think they finished this year. They probably finish 5th.
I was going to say 3rd or 4th because I think they could beat Penn Penn State because they could outscore them.
Yeah, but you got to understand, Miami didn't face a single defense all year. Penn State's defense is legit.
I don't know. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that thing.
This is interesting. I love this. OSU plays Texas and Notre Dame plays Miami week 1 next year. That's gonna be so fun.
Oh yeah.
Miami can't even beat USC.
Now that would actually be a good game, just for the simple fact of no team would try to win that game.
And no team would play defense. It would be just miserable, like 100 to 100. But all right, final thoughts before we get out of here, before we get ready for the game. Richie, has anything changed your mind over the past few days? I know we did our predictions. You had Ohio State by 3, I think it was.
That's my gut. It's going to come down to specialties.
Okay. Duke, anything change your mind? Anything that's changed in the past few days?
I don't hate NIL like people think I do. I just don't like immediate eligibility. And eventually, if you keep building your team by the portal, it will come back to haunt you eventually. Some people say it's great, but it'll be cool when the shoe's on the other foot. And also, I think that nothing has really swayed my opinion. Do I think it's going to be an absolute blowout in a lot of the stuff that go into the college football national championship? Do I think are dumb? Yes. Do I care that Biscuit Man is there? Bryce Harper? Don't give a shit. LeBron is there? Yeah, don't really care for that either. Shane Gillis is cool. I mean, Gillis is at least funny.
That's my guy.
At least he brings something to the table other than this is LeBron James.
Did you see his commercial for Under Armour?
Yeah,
that was
great.
That was hilarious.
It was great. Hey, God, it's Shane. Notre Dame plays a big. I won't bet it ever again for a month. Okay, maybe we. Actually, I'm probably going to bet Sunday.
Just lying in church while you're just praying and asking God, please, like.
I think it's interesting that, because they kept on shitting on Notre Dame's schedule. A lot of the Ohio State people saying, "Well, the ACC is not as good." Blah 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 blah. Okay,
the ACC is not, but yeah,
the ACC is not as good. But I said, one thing is that they still got to roll the ball out there and play.
Let's not forget that Notre Dame's undefeated against the SEC and Big Ten this year.
And also let's not forget that the bottom half of the Big Ten is something that's some type of world beater. You had Michigan, who couldn't throw a forward pass, Minnesota, Purdue. You mean to tell me that there's that much of a talent gap in some of these schools?
Yeah.
There's 4 or 5 schools in both conferences that could be competitive on a neutral site with each other. Notre Dame's not in a conference and they play some ACC opponents. Like, what are we doing here? Like, the Big Ten is all of a sudden just supposed to appear like Minnesota. Really, you're gonna argue with me about Minnesota?
Minnesota.
Like,
let's
it's
see.
just dumb.
Notre Dame. Let's go. Travis Chain is the GOAT. He's so funny. I would love to see him live. I haven't seen him live yet.
This is I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Dave might be at the cigar lounge, or he's at home, watching the game.
OSU's undefeated against independent teams this year. I mean, I know they haven't lost to one. I don't know if they've really played one, but Richie's our resident OSU fan. He's here every day. Almost, but yeah, we had to get a resident OSU fan just in case.
Hey,
get him, Zeke.
Zeke's going nuts.
Hey, is your dad there?
He just walked down. He's got Claire wearing a Notre Dame hat.
There we go. That's what I like to hear. Yeah. There we go. Let's get her. But yeah, My final prediction, I know I said 24-10 on Saturday. Notre Dame wins. Go Irish, Claire. That's right. Go Irish. Love it. But I do think it's closer than that. I got wrapped up into the environment and the fun. But I think Notre Dame wins still. I'm going to say 24-21 though.
What are the other side notes on this thing? There's a lot of families involved in this rivalry, and I think that 52-17 is a little wild, but okay.
Jesus.
Hey, if you're listening, drop your score in the chats. If you get it right, and you have to have the right team winning, I don't know. I'll send you something. We'll figure it out. I don't know what yet, but
Carter will meet you at Ike's and give you an Ohio pork roll behind the dumpster.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That is a fact.
Yeah, right. Who's texting? I don't know.
It's probably somebody texting Richie, or it's his ESPN updates.
Probably. You guys can hear it?
Yeah.
Ding.
Yo, yeah, that ding.
I'm with you, Joe. I gotta watch alone. I can't watch with people. I had so many people like, oh, come out to the bar, come to here, come to this, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna be. First of all, I live in Columbus, Ohio. I'm not going anywhere. I don't want to be around any of these people. And so I'm gonna watch it at home alone with my emotional support football ready to go.
They are already doing the thing on Twitter where they have I like the people on that are on the TikTok right now. Can you wish my brother a happy birthday? And his name is something that will get you banned.
No, I didn't even know you were on TikTok.
Yeah, I've been doing the TikTok thing.
52-17 Ohio State. I want some of what you're smoking. 31-17 Ohio State. That's more realistic. 2017 Notre Dame. I love that.
The one thing that I need to figure out how to do is get the sound through my speakers, and I can use the microphone. That would enhance the TikTok experience.
For sure. Nobody watches. That's exactly how I am. I watched the.
I gotta watch it by myself too. But I got little ones, and my pops are here, so I gotta watch the cussing, and I'll still cuss, so I don't really care.
Can I sit with you guys?
Yeah, but it's I watched the last the Penn State game. My mom was with me, and she was like, "You need to settle down," and I was like, "Absolutely not. I can't settle down. You need to stop talking."
What
Smith? 8 catches, 178 yards, 2 tutties. Oh boy, that would be something considering that. Well, anyways.
Oh,
I must be at the nexus of the universe. Is that Ohio State boy wearing Notre Dame gear? Uh-oh. Dookie, get called out.
I have my guy Lee there. I appreciate you watching the show, but he's very, very observant on the gear that I wear. So if you wear a Las Vegas Knights hat, he automatically assumes you are a fan of that team. So if you wear a Vegas Knights hat and then you come in like wearing like a Red Wings sweatshirt, like a sweatshirt like your aunt got you or something like that, he'll be like, "Oh, you're bandwagoner. You switched teams."
Who wears other teams' stuff and you're not what?
I have a guy that I work with that has like 150 fitted hats.
All right. I guess that's your thing.
Like I kind of collect hats too. Like I got the cow on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't wear a team's apparel unless I'm kind of a fan. At least like I have Ohio State stuff because I do like Ohio State when Notre Dame's not involved. Obviously, I have tons of Notre Dame stuff because that's my main team. I'm a fan. I got Browns. Indians. I might even have some Cavs stuff, even though I don't really care about the NBA.
Next season, I got a big SEC sweatshirt coming.
Of course you do. You're a huge SEC fan. It makes sense.
Hey man, we got Gucci Man on the. What do we got going?
Just wear something every show that says it means more.
I thought about just wearing the SEC sweatshirt and on the
Yeah.
not really trying to troll anybody, but
Yeah, that's what you are. But
I've never trolled anybody on this show ever. When have you ever known me to be?
You troll me every goddamn day.
I do not do that. That is
You
not
just
fair.
you know how to try to push my buttons and get me fired up, and it works sometimes.
I just tell Richie jokes that he doesn't
28-13 Notre Dame. I like it.
The teams are coming
You're
out.
goddamn right it isn't a basketball conference. Let's go Cats.
Flash it.
I will agree with that statement. The SEC basketball, I think they're going to get 9 teams in the tournament this year.
Fuck it, give them all 16 or whatever. They should all get in. Hey, absolutely, Thomas. Appreciate you stopping by. We haven't really reset the show. If you're out there listening, like and subscribe before you go watch the game. Help us out. We're trying to blow this up, trying to grow it, keep it going. But definitely hit the like and subscribe button. That helps us. We are on the path to being one of the biggest Notre Dame shows in the country. The only thing we need is more subscribers. So go out there, share it with your friends. The more subscribers we get, the better. If Notre Dame gets beat, Duke will wear Ohio gear. That's true. Carter and Duke seem like they know each other since 3rd grade. Surprisingly, no, but you would think so. I agree. How do you watch the game if you don't have ESPN? So I would go to, I believe it's called the tvapp.co or something like that. And not that I support illegal streaming services or anything like that. Don't take us down, YouTube. But if you go out to you go to Reddit, they'll tell you, they'll direct you the right way. But yeah, there's definitely ways.
The one thing I've always wondered, while this is getting kicked off, is
bro, I just want to know what Pat Coogan had to say.
The pyro. I think the pyro for these big games is really uneventful.
Yeah, well, it's also.
At Ohio State, it's nothing different. That's just game day.
Yeah, well, they definitely did some different things for the playoffs at Ohio State. But it was also like the first actual night game they had.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look at this. Yeah.
But all right, boys. Well, let's wrap this up so we can watch this game. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to go back on at halftime so we can break down the first half. And depending on how the first half goes, I might stay on and stream a little of the second half. So if you're out there watching, if you're watching the game, join us at halftime. I'll try to put it out a little ahead of time so everybody gets like a 30-minute reminder and everything like that. But other than that, boys, let's enjoy this moment. This is awesome. This is everything that everybody's been playing for and waiting for. And go Irish.
Well, Buckeyes,
All right.
I hope both teams have fun.
Hey, Jerome Bettis is there. All right, fellas. Everybody have a good night.
Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for watching.